Hey, everyone. Thanks so much for coming out to the talk. Hope everyone's having a good Breakpoint so far. I was here last year around the same time, and it's just really awesome to see how the community has grown in just a year. Really amazing to see. So really excited to talk to you today about what I think is pretty much the biggest obstacle for mainstream adoption of crypto today, which is fighting phishing and scamming. So the talk today is entitled How Phantom is Fighting Phishing and Scamming. I'm going to be going over a couple things. So one, I'm going to kind of define what I think phishing means in a crypto context. I'm going to talk a little bit about the types of different attacks that we're actually been seeing out in the field, the different solutions that we've implemented along with their effectiveness, and yeah, how everyone in this room can work together to combat phishing. So here we go. So yeah, next up, but just quickly, as just a quick intro, so my name is Brandon. I'm the CEO and one of 3 co-founders of Phantom. My Twitter handle is @bchillman, and I'll be around the conference for the next couple of days if anyone wants to chat. So happy to meet you guys all in person. Cool. So next up, so what is phishing exactly? So Merriam-Webster defines phishing as the practice of tricking internet users as through the use of deceptive email messages or websites into revealing personal or confidential information which can then be used illicitly. If we're then to transform that into more of a crypto flavor, you could say phishing is the practice of tricking crypto users as through the use of deceptive Discord/Telegram messages or websites into revealing secret recovery phrases or approving malicious transactions. So that's the type of phishing that I'm going to be referencing today. And just to kind of level set things a bit and kind of give you guys an understanding of the type of scale that we're seeing. So since launching Phantom back in May of last year, we've actually hit over 3 million active users. We've facilitated 49 million dApp connections. And we've actually facilitated 325 million lifetime transactions. And to put that into perspective, that's actually an average of 7 transactions per second for a year and a half straight. And at our peak, we hit number 20 in the finance section in the App Store. And through that, we've seen a lot of shit. So I'm excited to kind of show you guys what we've seen. Yeah, so there's a lot of different types of phishing attacks out there. And we really want to give dApp developers basically a sneak preview of the types of problems that they're going to see at scale, and also kind of give you guys a sense of what solutions exist out there, both from a technical perspective and also from an operational perspective. And yeah, something that I can't emphasize enough is that we all need to work together to solve this issue. And basically, every single trusted NFT project, dApp, or token out there is affected by this problem. And scammers are basically utilizing everyone's brand equity to steal from their users. And so it's really a common problem that we all need to solve. And yeah, excited to kind of like teach you guys what we've seen. So first up, fake websites. So I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen a lot of these fake websites, especially around mints and stuff like that. So yeah, basically scammers will go at great lengths to mimic like the apps that we all know and love in order to coerce them into signing a malicious transaction. So for example, they may get you to sign a transaction that actually enables transfers or approvals to then sweep your account at a later date. We've also seen a lot of instances of scammers seizing domains as soon as they get released or expired, and even paying for fraudulent search ads, like you can see here. We've seen instances not only of fake websites, but fake applications as well. So we've dealt with tons of fake Android apps, fake Chrome extensions, and all that sort of thing. You can kind of see here an example of something that we've seen in the wild. Yeah, as many of you have probably encountered, scammers will also often use various forms of social engineering to try to get you to give up your seed phrase or sign a malicious transaction. So these attacks include, fake Telegram users, fake Phantom support, which I'm sure everyone has seen. And yeah, on top of all the attacks that I just mentioned, we have seen a lot of other attacks, including spam NFTs, rotten seed phrases, which are actually like pre-compromised seed phrases that an attacker will try to get you to import into your normal app to actually add another layer of misdirection on the attack. And so what else? Yeah, copy and paste malware, complicated DevNet soul scams where a scammer will try to get a user to think that they're on DevNet and actually send them real money. So the list really goes on. Something I want to emphasize is that phishing and scamming is basically a continuous cat and mouse game where elaborate scams are getting more and more complicated, and therefore the measures that we have to take to mediate them are also need to get more and more complicated. And these are just a kind of a subset of the attacks going out in the wild. So basically, from the remainder of my time, I want to basically walk through an example user journey of what a new user coming into the ecosystem might experience as a first-time user, the pitfalls that await them in this journey, and then how Phantom is sort of helping them every step of the way to keep them safe. So we have a fictitious person here, Alice, who is a software engineer. She had just heard about NFTs from her friends, and she wants to give Web3 a shot. And so she talks to her friends about how to buy NFTs. She's able to successfully buy her first NFT on Hyperspace, has a great time. This is Alice donning her brand new profile picture. Degen Trash Pandas was a good choice. Now she's hooked. And now, she's getting deeper in the rabbit hole. She hears about a hyped up mint called Toots. She wants to participate, so she signs up for the Discord, anxiously awaits for the day of the mint. Finally, the mint day comes, and the Discord sort of floods with different links. Unbeknownst to her, she clicks on a link to an incorrect site called toots.com, not with zeros, but with O's. And then she's bet with this. And so this is quite surprising, I think, the first time, if anyone's seen this. What's actually going on here? So if you're a Phantom user and you are accessing a malicious domain, we actually have this public repository called the Phantom block list. And what this actually is a community-maintained list of fake domains that lets us communicate to the community about fake domains that we've discovered and vice versa. And Phantom, as an application, will actually pick up on these malicious domains and actually actively block a user from being able to access them. So when we hear about a malicious site, so we have this block list. But however, if someone's using not Phantom, they're not actually going to benefit from this list. So what do we do in that case? To help solve this, here's an example of some examples of domains that we've blocked in the past. So you can see some familiar names on there for sure. As of right now, the block list stands at over 2,000 blocked domains. But like I was saying, if a user doesn't have Phantom installed and is using another wallet, that interstitial is not actually going to show up. But we still want to be able to protect users in that case. So what do? So to help solve that case, what we do we actually try to take down these sites proactively. So when we hear about a malicious domain, not only do we add it to this block list, but we actually have partnered with multiple external firms called Fishfort and Breakpoint that will actually go and try to pull the domains down so that if you're using another wallet, or if you're part of the broader ecosystem, you'll actually reach this when you hit a malicious domain. And yeah, just to give you kind of some stats on how many sites we've actually taken down. So like I said, our block list has over 2,000 entries. We've actually managed to take over 1,000 fake websites, all targeting the Solana ecosystem. And we also managed to take down around 250 social profiles, including fake Telegram bots, as well as fake Twitter accounts as well. So just kind of give you a sense of how much we're doing behind the scenes here. Another common path to scammers to lead users to fake websites is through fake NFT airdrops. So unsuspecting users may receive one of these NFT airdrops after interacting with Magic Eden or other popular dApps. And these NFTs often have instructions on how to win some prize or claim some airdrop, often in the metadata or even sometimes in the image of the NFT itself, making them very difficult to detect. So we actually use the same block list sort of technology to block these types of NFTs as well. And we're also investing in automated spam filters much like you would kind of use on your email inbox today. Want to quickly plug our Burn NFTs feature. So although this actually does not protect someone from a scam necessarily, it's like an awesome way to kind of get back at scammers. So since we've launched this feature back in August, we've actually facilitated over 600,000 burns. And what you're doing when you're burning an NFT is you're actually reclaiming a small amount of SOL that the scammer used to kind of fund this campaign in the beginning. So it's kind of a way of getting back at those guys. But just wanted to quickly plug that in. Yeah, so back to our protagonist, Alice. So if our block list and our takedown precautions are not successful, then Alice may actually find herself on a very convincing phishing website called toots.com. In a rush to mint, Alice may click on the mint button up there, and the DApp may then try to coerce her into approving a malicious transaction. If Alice is using Phantom, then instead of the normal transaction pop-up, she'll actually see this. And this is the result of an advanced transaction simulation system that we've been working on for a while that's able to recognize that the action that she's about to take is going to drain her or be malicious and warns her. It is actually possible to bypass this transaction using the link down low if you are really confident in what you're doing. And then if Alice moves on to that step, we'll actually give her a human-readable diff about everything that's about to go on onto her account. In this case, the transaction is coercing her to approve a bunch of delegate approval to the app for a bunch of tokens, in which the app will then sweep at a later date. So yeah, if this warning is, so how does this all work exactly? So I'm really excited to talk about this. So at Phantom, we basically recognize that this problem, like I said, is a continuous cat and mouse game. We have to get more and more advanced in our ability to block these things. And so to do that, we've actually incubated a small security company called Blowfish. And Blowfish is a company that produces this advanced transaction simulation software and actually produces this proprietary detection engine, which has two main parts. So the first part is a rules-based engine, which is basically you can think of as a giant if-else statement that looks at the transaction and tries to look at common properties of the transactions that show them as malicious. So for example, if a transaction is trying to change the owner of one of your associated token accounts, then the Blowfish engine will say, hey, this is very likely to be malicious. But of course, this is not going to work in all cases. So Blowfish also includes a machine learning aspect as well, where it's constantly learning about all the new scams that are coming out and improving. So yeah, here, I'm really excited to talk about this. So here's some stats on how many users we've actually saved using this system. So overall, we've scanned 85 million transactions using this system. We've prevented over 18,000 wallet draining transactions. And in the last month alone, we've actually saved 3,000 unique users from getting drained. And this is really important because if a user gets drained, they're never coming back to the ecosystem. And everyone here is trying so hard to get these users in the door. And so we all have an obligation to try to make sure it's a safe environment for them to explore Web3 and do what they want to do. So really proud of these stats specifically. All right, so if Alice is able to bypass our block lists, takedown, and the transaction simulation efforts, unfortunately, she may lose funds to the scammers operating Toots.com. When this happens, this is where our world-class customer support team comes in. So yeah, I quickly want to talk about this because I think, unfortunately, the current state of customer support on Web3 is extremely primitive and, honestly, pretty borderline negligent. So normally, when someone's using a Web3 app and someone's encountering a problem or has a question, the state of the art is to kind of usher them into a Discord channel, and then they talk to a moderator. They may start to get DMs from fake accounts. If they're already sort of in a vulnerable or agitated state, they may be more likely to answer responses to these DMs. And overall, it's a very dangerous system. So we've kind of foregone that entire system and kind of created a normal customer support system that you might expect from sort of a Web 2 company or like a more established company. Yeah, and so really excited to talk about this. We basically have built a world-class support team with the former head of support from MetaMask, who's used all of his years of experience to basically build a team to create an awesome support team with a number of goals. So first off, we want to be able to educate users to safely navigate Web3. We want to help users get back on track if they lose their way. We want to protect users from known phishing scams. And we also want to identify bugs, feedback, and opportunities to improve the user experience. So these are kind of all the explicit goals of our customer support team. And to give you a little bit of understanding of the scale that they deal with, so they've lifetime resolved 30,000 tickets in total. We actually goal on things like median response time to actually put together a professional operation. So we have a median response time about 14.8 hours. And this is all accomplished by a full-time staff of 7 support agents. And we also have a help center, which has gotten over 1 million views by itself. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the user journey. Hopefully that gives you a good idea of both the technical and operational complexities of fighting phishing in Web3. And I basically wanted to end this session with a couple of key takeaways. So one, like I said multiple times, fighting phishing and scamming is a continuous cat and mouse game. Fighting phishing and scamming is not only a technical challenge, but also an immense operational challenge. And then fighting phishing and scamming is probably the most important problem to solve for the mainstream adoption of crypto, and I truly believe that. Things that we can actually do together, things that everyone can do in this room. So one, contributing to the block list. So like I showed you before, we have this open source GitHub repository. If anyone out there sees a malicious domain or experiences a scam, please reach out to us. Please contribute to the block list, and we can actually fan that information out to the broader ecosystem. Two, if you're running a popular dApp, NFT collection, or token, if you have things like trademarks, if you have things and things like that, you can actually participate in the takedown process yourself as well. And if you have more questions about that, I'm happy to introduce you to the right people. And then three, just more user education. I think more and more people are getting to this space. We want to onboard the next billion users, and to do that, people really need to know how to properly defend themselves in this space. And then, yeah, some plans for the future. Like I mentioned, we're going to be improving our NFT spam detection. It's a really difficult problem, very much akin to spam on email. We're going to be continuing to improve our transaction approval and simulation through Blowfish. And we're going to be experimenting with different kinds of self-custody solutions. So one thing I didn't really touch on is we focus mostly on this path of signing malicious transactions. But there's actually a whole breed of attacks that are designed for you to give up your seed phrase. And so we're really excited to experiment with different types of self-custody solutions that continue to give people the benefits of non-custodial solutions, but help limit some of the damage of giving away your private key. Cool. And yeah, thanks so much again. If you want to get in contact, or if you're interested in working on any of these problems, please let me know. We have our website, jobs page, my personal email, as well as my Twitter here. And yeah, I'll be around the conference for the next couple days. If anyone wants to talk about this topic, just hit me up. And that's it. Thank you very much.